How's everybody doing? My name is Steve Foreman, owner of Thyme-N-Honey. Here I am again, just sharing some information, just sharing some ideas, sharing my thoughts about leadership, specifically chefs being leaders. I've been talking a lot about strong relationships. I've been talking about credibility. So today, I want to break down two dynamics of credibility. How are you going to earn credibility? How are you going to be perceived as somebody who is credible, right? Because that's extremely important. You want people to trust you. You want people to be influenced by you, and knowing that you're a trustworthy person, well, you have to show some credibility. And there are two main things that establish credibility. Number one is having integrity. Number two is showing consistency, okay? So first, let's deal with integrity. Integrity deals with, honesty. It deals with fairness. It also deals with how ethical are you. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little story. I had a boss before. She was a great manager, great leader. At that time, she was my general manager. And one of the things that she did respect me for, she respected me, but one of the things that she really respected me for is that she knows I would always tell her the truth, even if it put me in harm's way. I would even tell on myself. And she would say that. She'd be like, I love this dude. He will never lie to me. And it was true. I would never lie to her. That established something. It established credibility that she could have in me. So here's my GM that I'm reporting up to. I'm influencing her with my honesty to build credibility, that she was able to be comfortable letting me lead because she saw the characteristics I possessed. So again, it's being honest. I would tell myself, I'd be like, yeah, I said that. I shouldn't have, but I did say that. And we would resolve it and deal with it, right? But she always knew. And then she wrote for me for a project that I had to do. It was a leadership program that I was a part of, and there was a project that I had to do for this upper leadership program. And she had mentioned that Steve would never lie. Steve has never lied, and I've never known Steve to ever lie. That's building something, people. That's credibility. It's like, yeah, I could lie to get away with it, but it's always gonna show up down the road. And it's gonna show up not in what you lied about, but it's gonna show up in your character, because somebody's gonna notice along the lines, if you keep behaving that way, somebody's gonna start noticing it. And then they're gonna start noticing you're not an honest person. Same with integrity. Having integrity. One of the things that I would always do is I would always stand up for my team. I would always go to bat for them. They always knew that I would stand up on their behalf when things weren't going favorably for our team. And I would accept whatever kind of, backlash that would come from it, even if the people above me were looking at me funny because I was trying to represent my team, but I had integrity. I was always going to represent my team. I was never going to throw them under the bus. I was never going to blame why something happened. I remember one time my team, we performed for this huge event, and there were some difficulties, there were some problems, and one of the VPs came up and was demanding what was going on. I said, the buck stops with me. It stops with me. I'm the one whatever the problems that you're seeing, I'm at fault. So deal with me. Don't talk to my team, talk to me. That's having integrity, people, right? That's having integrity. And then, of course, people want to see, are you going to be ethical? Are you going to uphold the rules? Are you going to be somebody who realizes something that's being done in your workplace that is not right? You're going to speak up. You're going to speak up for everybody else. Maybe it's not affecting you, but you understand it's affecting your team. You're going to speak up. That's being ethical. Again, integrity, being honest. All of that works together in establishing credibility, right? So I want you to really think about this. I want you to have a mind about realizing what is it that you do when you are at the workplace, when you're in the middle of your kitchen, and when you're establishing a relationship with your team. Are they able to look at you as credible? The next piece is your consistency. Are you consistent? How consistent are you? If you say you're going to do something, do it. That's being consistent. That's helping them understand they can trust you. How consistent are you going to be? Do they see you consistent with everybody, or do they see you being favorable to your peoples, right? Your one or two wonderful people that you can just trust on, and you laugh with them and you hang out with them, but everybody else you mistreat, or you're not as consistent with how things are dealt with, or when somebody messes up that's close to you, you kind of put it underneath the rug. But somebody else that's not close to you, you go after them. You even might write them up or whatever, cut their hours, which is wrong, right? So are you consistent? They're looking for this. Do you follow through? Right now, I work at a stadium, and there's so many people that are working, and there's so many great people that are working there. And what I do is I will walk into one of the concession stands, and here's how you know you're having an influence in people's lives. that you're really impacting people. I remember going into a stand and they were panicking. They were panicking because they were just having a hard time getting set up for us to invite people into the place to eat, right? So they were panicking. So when I walked in, this is what they said. Oh my God, chef, yes, you're here. Why? Why did they say that? Because they knew how consistent I am of showing up and getting them through and helping them. They were so relieved when I walked into the stand because they knew how consistent I am. That I didn't just walk in and be like, oh, we'll figure it out and walk out the door. No, I walked in and I assemble them. I get them together. I walk through them how to get it all set up. I work together and remind them, stay calm. We got this. We can all do this. All of their emotions start to calm down and settle. That's influence, my friend. You are inspiring at that moment. You have people under control. You have people following you and being inspired, and they're relieved when they see you. They know things are going to go well now because of how you approach them when they're panicking and things aren't going well. And I knew that they were behind, and I knew that it was going to be rough, and I knew that, they could have done something differently, but I didn't go in there blasting them. I went in there consistently showing the Chef Steve who's going to help them put it together, show them how to put it together, remind them, and then come back later to check on them. And when I come back to check on them, they're like, Chef, man, you got us together, and now we're smooth sailing. We got this. We got this. You showed us. We appreciate you, and so on and so forth. People, do you know how impactful that is? When you can leave that kind of impression in people, that's what you are called to do as a chef. You are called to impress and make an impression in people, not for your sake, but when you leave, you know they're empowered to do the job you're asking them to do, and they're going to excel at the job you're asking them to do. You hear me? That's something that you've got to be doing. That's center of the kitchen mentality. That's the bandwidth growing, that you impacting and influencing and inspiring, where they now follow you because they trust you, because you become credible to them. So, two main things that make up credibility, like I said, integrity and consistency. So start developing that. Ask yourself, where am I falling short? I'm not here to condemn or scold. I'm just here to elevate the mindset that we need to have. I'm here to open up our thought process, enlarge our bandwidth to see what it's going to take to be leaders in the center of our kitchen. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you're being encouraged. So until next time, appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you later. God bless.